So a content creator I follow called Digibro just released a video on his Digibro After Dark channel talking about how he dislikes the term Metroidvania. I'm not quite sure I agree with some of the points he made in that video. In the video he's talking about the fact that the word Metroidvania is applied to two different types of games. These two types of games is obviously the games that work like Super Metroid and the games that work like Symphony of the Night. However, I believe that the term Metroidvania only really applies to games which follow the model of Symphony of the Night, as I believe there is a distinct difference between a Metroid-like game and a Metroidvania game. It's unfortunate that the term Metroidvania is so misused in games media, both by developers, players, and, journalists, when describing any type of game which is, a large sprawling environment which you explore through power-ups and occasionally RPG elements. Because I believe the Metroidvania term is most useful when only describing the ones related to Symphony of the Night. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I should mention how the Metroidvania term spawned from Symphony of the Night. When Symphony of the Night came out, it was the first Castlevania directed by Igarashi, and it was completely different to how other Castlevania games played before. The two previous games before Symphony of the Night was Rondo of Blood and Super Castlevania 4, both which were clearly action, side-scrolling games, which had already carved their own subgenre in the gaming market with well thought out level layouts and enemy placements, distinctly where you would progress through a level ending with a boss. However, when Symphony of the Night came out, it took many cues from the way Metroid plays. Players labelled it Metroidvania because it had all of the elements which made a Metroid game. Super Metroid had been out for just over 3 years when Symphony of the Night came out, and that was the definitive Metroid experience. What else would players label it? Pretty much all other genres are described by their mechanics, and I just don't think we've actually come up with a term which accurately describes what a Metroid game is, other than combining other genres together, for example action, adventure, side-scroller, or something equally as bad. I want to make clear the difference between a standard Metroid game and an Igarashi-styled Symphony of the Night game. Symphony of the Night had everything that Metroid had with RPG elements, which were key to how the game played. Leveling up, finding new items which change statistics is extremely important to how Symphony of the Night plays, and any other game which uses Symphony of the Night as its inspiration. If you define Metroidvania as a Metroid game with RPG elements, then you get a subgenre which clearly defines Igarashi-styled Castlevania games, and applying Metroidvania to anything that doesn't do these things and just goes to obscure the meaning of Metroidvania. However, this whole video goes to show that players go to insane lengths to define subgenres for certain types of games, yet sometimes go nowhere near as deep for others. I think the clearest example of this is coincidentally Metroid Prime. What genre is Metroid Prime? First-person shooter. What genre is Call of Duty? Also a first-person shooter. Both these games play massively different, but come under the same blanket term first-person shooter. I have no idea why we can argue over the definition of the difference between Metroid and Symphony of the Night, yet not argue over the massive disparity between Metroid Prime and Call of Duty. But if I talk further about this video is going to be extremely long, so I'd rather not for now. Thanks for watching.